Formula 4 Championship is ultra close here in East London. Only 9 points separate the championship leader, Marc Gleed in the Costa Olives Swift, and Grant Orbell in the Motortech Van Diemen. And the man who's managed to grab the pole, but only by 500ths of a second, is Marc Gleed, who is naturally delighted with the situation.
Yes, Peter, we are very happy. We're 9 points in the lead at the moment. We've got to win today, both these, to stretch our lead as we are aiming at winning the championship. That is our biggest aim, and we will do it.
Gleed, a Cape Townian, is intent on increasing his championship lead. Orbell from Gauteng in his 94 Van Diemen needs a good start. But it's the Swift man who rockets away with the remainder of the smallish but quality field in hot pursuit. Toby Schechter has motoring journalist Ian Shrosby in the top car, Reynard, just behind him, and then alongside him, coming out of Potters at 190 kilometers per hour. Coming out of Copacabana, and it's still the man who has a lot of racing experience under his belt in Formula Ford, followed by the man who has his debut here. He puts a small wheel wrong there, and behind the pack in the battle for third rages on. Schechter has won the early battle over Shrosby, and fellow Venturi Motorsport racer Johan Fourie is in his sights. Andy Brown is locked in behind in fourth spot and lies 10th in the Saddle Ford Championship. Behind him, Graham Coleman in his top-tinned Reynard and Graham Hepburn Sten Swift are all in the points. Through the complex again and up the back straight towards Beacon Bend at 175 kilometers per hour. Lots of jockeying for position as the pack look for advantage under braking. Schechter, Fourie and ailing Orbell and Brown outwitting Shrosby as they roar down the windswept main straight at the East London Grand Prix circuit. Gleed running away with the first race already. Orbell running wide and obviously has a problem. The close duel for second rages on between Shrosby and Brown. Orbell, meanwhile, has retired with the puncture. Gleed has opened a 4-second gap over Schechter's auto-equipped 96 Swift, and Fourie is still very much in pursuit. Shrosby and Brown are elevated to 4th and 5th respectively, and Graham Coleman is putting in one more of his solid showings. Graham Hepburn destroyed bodywork and radiator in qualifying, but he's still running too. Jody Schechter's son is starting to feel the pressure from Fourie and locks up slightly coming out of Copacabana. The race is all but sewn up now for Gleed. The best of friends off the track, Schechter and Fourie, are busy with the best battle on the circuit so far today. With the end of the first 10-lapper close, the MD Transport Van Diemen teenager looks for a tow behind Schechter. Gleed coming through in his 94 Swift, the car that won the championship last year. Behind him, the 96 version thereof, and the Reynard of Johan Fourie. Andy Brown also looking for a tow behind Shrosby. Behind them, Coleman and Hepburn are close with the likeable Andrew Grace now also coming into the picture. Schechter protecting his racing line with all his young driving experience, but it's as close as a Swedish sauna in the dice for second. Just as he did last time out at East London in June, Schechter leaves the door open coming out of Copacabana, and Fourie slips through on the inside. In the Class B battle, Ian Smith lost a wheel on the first lap, and Gary Mortimer, second in that title race behind Smith, now has a good few car lengths lead over veteran campaigner Dennis Montgomery. Higher up the field, Marc Gleed is heading for his 5th victory of the year, and Toby Schechter is not giving up his quest for his 3rd second spot finish in 1996, tucking in under Fourie's exhaust as they exit Beacon Bend and down the long main straight, which is a public road most days of the week. Brown still lies 5th, and Coleman, desperate to claim a point, is touching under the back of Hepburn, dropping him a few meters back. Unseen, Schechter tangled with Fourie just before the complex, badly damaging his under tray and side parts. He's coasting along, furious with the situation, and decides to choose the shortcut across the kart circuit. No doubt not doing much for the already pained racing car. Now back in 5th position, Schechter will know that Fourie is closing in on his 3rd spot in the Saddle Formula 4 Championship. Gleed takes the last corner for the final time, and Fourie, also an ex-hotshot karter, has a comfortable 6 points coming his way in race 1. No time to waste in celebration for the championship leader. He's jumping straight into his Class F Stanley Group and Toyota for another 10-lapper. So, round 15 won by Marc Gleed, Johan Fourie second, his teammate Ian Shrosby third, Andy Brown in another Reynard ends fourth, Toby Schechter back to fifth, and the two Grahams, Coleman and Hepburn in sixth and seventh spot, with Andrew Grace the tail end in Class A. Gary Mortimer took the honours in Class B with Dennis Montgomery behind him. Another superb start for the first race winner. Fourie and Shrosby fall in behind. Coming through Potter's Pass, and young Toby Schechter finds out wide such a dangerous corner. Fortunately, he manages to keep the car off the wall and gets back onto the track after a bit of off-road aquaplaning. The order at this stage: Gleed, Fourie, Shrosby, Brown, Grace and Hepburn. Coming into Copacabana, a bit of a lock-up from young Johan Fourie, and a big battle ensuing behind them with teammate Ian Shrosby, and Andy Brown goes off, adding a bit of East London dust to his canary yellow Reynard. The top three still are all quite close, and a small gap back to the midfield. Then comes Ian Smith leading Class B in his combined design Pioneer Royale from Gary Mortimer and Dennis Montgomery. On lap 2, Fourie reads Potter's wrong, and Shrosby follows him onto the rough stuff. Large stones hurtle from Fourie's car onto Shrosby and onto his helmet, disorientating him and sending him at 190 kilometers per hour into the undergrowth. The helmet looks like a pickaxe went to work, but fortunately Ian is unhurt and can take the long walk back to the pits. At this stage of the race, Gleed is heading for a superb double. Fourie for another second, and Schechter is again chasing his good friend, as Grace and Coleman also look as if they could well be in the points. Orbell, meanwhile, went farming, and he's out of the picture. It's a replay here of race 1 between these two young chargers. Hopefully no contact this time. Neck on neck they are down the main straight. Schechter has more power, and it sounds like Fourie may have a slipping clutch. Fourie again taking the tighter line and looking for the advantage, but the question is, for how long? So Fourie goes through, and behind him Schechter seems to have fallen off just a little bit. Up the back straight towards Beacon, and here another big battle ensuing. Graham Coleman and Graham Hepburn, this time in reverse order from the first race. These are South Africa's racing stars of the future, cutting their teeth in the precariously close open-wheeler Saddle Formula Ford racing. Just watch how these two hammer and tong up at almost 220 kilometers per hour. No fear. Gleed can now take things almost in his stride, taking in the East London scenery. He knows his victory is just around the corner. The big question in the dying stages for these two is who has the bigger heart and coolest head. Gleed makes it 2 for the day and 6 for the year. And for these two, it's down to the final corner. Fourie will be a happy man, Toby Schechter disappointed.
We had 2 wins, 2 pretty easy wins, even though it was quite difficult to stay in front by yourself. We won both heats. We are 27 points in the lead now. It's not all said and done yet by a long shot. There's still a lot of work to be done. We are in the lead. We are very happy. We hope to win the championship. We're very determined, but we'll see what happens.
So Marc Gleed, a proud man, 2 wins on the day. He leads the championship now by 27 points. Johan Fourie, a very well-driven second spot from Toby Schechter, Graham Coleman, Andrew Brown, with Ian Smith coming in first in Class B and 6 overall.
An all-round superb performance today, Graham. It's kind of been a long time coming.
Well, I try very hard, Peter. As you know, I do all my own preparation. It's nice to take on the guys with the money.